In Spacegate Odyssey, think of yourself as managing a factory that creates explorers to send to different exoplanets for points. And by factory, I mean a space station, and by planets, I mean, well, actually no, that's pretty accurate. The game is driven by a central engineering board where players take their turn by moving one engineer from a space onto any other space. Then all players who have engineers or immovable robots in that room perform the associated action as many times as you have engineers and robots in that room, keeping in mind that the adorable exosuit upgraded chief engineers count as 2. This is how you add more rooms to your station, add more little explorer dudes to certain rooms, and move units to adjacent tiles that match the colors of the action. Remember how I called it a factory? This game is all about efficiency. The rooms you add to the ship will either be airlock rooms, which can be populated with your duders, one-time effects that add robots and engineers to the engineering station, or gates that, when full, transport duders from your station to the planet whose gate matches the symbol. The problem is, spaces come into play upside down and must be activated by moving a dude in. So you take an action to move dudes in, but you can only move onto an adjacent space of the matching movement action color and only a number of times equal to your engineering strength. So you place your tiles so that you can get your engine up and running, but then the one-time use spaces become empty corridors separating you from other rooms before you can activate them to add people to efficiently move them into gates. It seems so simple, but it's actually a lot to contend with. Speaking of gates, each planet has a different way of placing and scoring dudes when completed. From bows, where explorers are placed only in the bottom row or a spot supported by 2 other explorers, scoring 1 point each and 3 points for each row that you have the majority in, to call-ins, which is like an area control game to capture mountains by occupying the majority of spaces surrounding them. As you finish 2 planets, gates move to 2 more, and when 5 planets have been closed, the game ends and players compare points, getting some small bonuses based on who has the most of different color room types, which is moved around by some spaces on the different planets. Here's the deal. I don't like this game. In spite of the things I normally love, engine building, a solid theme, variability through planets, this is board game design fetishism taken to the extreme, so focused on being clever that it sacrifices clarity, elegance, and fun. From the components which feel oh so cool at first, like the engineers upgrading or this build-it-yourself tray for modules, to the act of developing your station, which, yes, they give you tokens for beginners to mitigate frustration by allowing a one-time rearranging of the station because they knew that people would get frustrated, to the fact that in spite of unique planet placement and scoring, they rarely amount to more strategic consideration than just dumping duders as fast as you can. Heck, I haven't even mentioned the point tracking system where you rotate around the central planet, paying an explorer or engineer to mark every revolution, aka 10 points. Yes, it's clever, but in a game that is already incredibly opaque, why make some buck-wild scoring system to further confound players? This game requires so much painstaking critical thinking to accomplish anything, and the payoff feels vapid in comparison, nowhere near the grand promise as depicted in the beautiful Vincent Dutrait artwork throughout the rulebook, which I should say has several misspellings and manages to both under and over-explain the game at once. Look, if you really dig the look and love abstract games, which I do, it has some really clever ideas and an incredible theme that with practice, it can amount to a pretty okay abstract engine builder. But for me, in 2019, where we have so many incredible games to choose from, clever and beautiful aren't enough. In Spacegate, I found very little fun. If you enjoyed this video, we have all kinds of other reviews, interviews, and recommendations via writing, podcasts, and video here on our channel and website cardboardherald.com. Our content is audience supported, so if you want to show your support, please visit our Patreon. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Cardboard Herald.